right, Cowboy Nation. You all are listening in to LAW Nation. We're going to talk about this defense. Yeah, defense. Defense wins what? Can you guys say it for me way in the back? Defense wins what? Defense do win championships. And when I look at this defense, I got to categorize this defense still as a young defense. They have not played a lot of games together. They have not. And they're doing a lot of mixing and trying to match up things. And we have our set goals with defense. We want to look like the 2000 Ravens, right? We want to look like the 2001, I believe, Buccaneers. Or we want to just look like a solid defense like the Patriots did last year. And I know interceptions are sexy. Sacks are sexy. Turnovers and all of that stuff, forcing the fumble, those things are very sexy. But that comes with time. And this is only the second week of the season. And we got young DBs out there. We got people that's picked up off the streets. I saw a Brandon Carr sighting, right? And of course, when I think of Trayvon Diggs, I think the way he plays with a chip on his shoulder, aggressive. He want to prove a point. He's a little antsy at times, but his recovery speed is sick with it. I recall a play from Calvin Ridley. He was able to just do a vertical stem route right up the seam there. And this Diggs was able to go stride for stride. And once Ridley got in front of him, he opened his hips or what have you, and he turned around for the ball. I'm talking about Diggs. He's able to get some recovery speed to get up under that ball, and it just bounces off his hands. I was like, Diggs, that was your boy. That was your baby you dropped, basically. That was your baby boy you dropped. But I believe that with time, and enough playing with each other, they will learn to be there right there. And on that same play, the breadth of the same play, two deep safeties on that play. I think Carr was late to respond, and he got caught down inside. His reaction to the ball wasn't really there, although he had his responsibilities on his side of the field. But the moment they motioned the tight end on the opposite side, he shouldn't have cheated to the opposite side, basically, because there was no one else that can come out of the backfield. But the linebacker had the running back if he comes out of the flat. And I know for sure Matt Ryan, he wasn't going to be Matt Vick. We start talking about the way this defense can formulate down the line. It's going to be okay. Just pump the brakes. We're not the 2000 Ravens, right? All right, so even Everson Griffin, he is the leading quarterback pressure on this team. Now, granted, this team is not getting a lot of sacks, of course, because of the fact that, the first team we played, the Rams, they get the ball out quick. They just get the ball out quick. It's a mad scientist over there as it relates to the coaching. So let's just not count that game, but we got to count that game. That's how football works. And based on the two teams that we played, we have not gotten a lot of sacks. What, 2 in 2 games? We're heading with this rate 16 sacks a season, right? But I believe that when the team gets together, they will get it together. Now, when I look at Everson Griffin, he normally plays on the right side of things from the defensive perspective. On the right side, he goes up against the left tackle. Now they got him playing left defensive end, and he rotates. You got Alden Smith that's playing on the opposite side where he normally be at. Now, what's happening here is that it just takes time. It's kind of like me saying, okay, you're a right-handed person, but now I'm going to force you to write with your left. That's a whole different world. By him getting the sack alone is good for me. It counted as a sack. And of course, one can argue when I look back at the play, it was like more of a coverage sack than anything because he didn't do a lot of nuances to get to the quarterback, but he was able to get there. And if he had not sacked Matt Ryan, then Alden Smith would have had that sack because Matt Ryan didn't have no one to go through. After his 3-step drop, he looked around, he scanned the field. Nobody was there. He can't just tuck the ball and bail out. He's not that type of quarterback. You see what I'm saying? But it does take time for these guys to gel together. I know we want to see everything flawless right now, but that would never happen, especially with no off season. And I know I sound like, hey, Law, you sound like you're giving all type of excuses. No, that's just the reality of it. No off season. So now when we fast forward to other things that's going to happen, I believe around our bye week is week 10, right? So I'm thinking that right before week 10, week 8, week 7, right around that time frame, we would see some level of continuity with this defense. Believe it or not. Man, but just believe it or not. Even Darryl Worley. I mean, he had the ball right in his hand, right? We can talk about that. That was an opportunity to have an interception. They're playing a 2-deep safety look. And everybody, mama, uncle, cousin, know that when you're able to see the ball, the quarterback going through his progression, and you can see he made a jump on the ball, that you know for sure you're supposed to be able to catch that pass there. There's a reason why he's playing on the defensive side of the ball. The reason why I'm bringing up Worley is because he's not only the guy that plays inside, but he playing safety responsibilities as well as he playing out there at the corner role. So they trying to figure out places and things of what they going to do with Worley or the Worlds. And the ball hit him in the hand and it's just like volleyball, right? He knows that he wished that he can have that play back. Newsflash, you only get one shot at it, right? And that was the time and the opportunity there. But their quarterback then would say to himself, I'm not going back in that cookie jar. Right or wrong. All right, so, and my other dog, Cheeto Woozier, to me personally, off the small sample size of the off season that we were able to see and what we heard from I guess what was coming from the Dallas Cowboys camp, is that he had his better camp than he ever had out there. He got his head around to the ball. He knocked it down. He was against Calvin Ridley. It could have been a touchback because his hands could have been right there on the ball to bring it and squeeze it in. Shout out to him for getting his head around to the ball, and he was in perfect spot, perfect for the plucking, right? It's just that he didn't take capitalizations on it, right? But we shouldn't bury him. It's week 2, heading into week 3 now. We're heading into week 4 and week 5. Now, I believe that those type of plays, believe it or not, like Ripley's, believe it or not, that we're not accustomed to seeing those things last year and the year before that. These guys are making plays on the ball. I know it's not what the results that we really want to see. And I'm always telling people every time I get a chance, everyone have a reason, but results are what matter. It's okay for us to be critical and cynical of players or what have you, because we want the best to happen out of them. Diamonds are made in triple darkness deep down in the earth. They're not just everywhere on the streets. It takes pressure for those diamonds to be made, right? We as Cowboys fans, we want the best for these guys, but they are not trash. Don't get it twisted. We just got to figure out how these guys can get on the same page together, and hopefully they learning from each other week by week, they're learning something. And even though a lot of people have their reservations on D-Law, a lot of people looking at it like, hey, y'all paid this man all of those coins, all of that paper, that bag, he got it, $20 million. He had 28 snaps, 5 tackles. He's the second leading pressure as it relates to quarterback pressure on this team. Second leading. Of course, the first one is Everson Griffin. He's splitting it with Alden Smith. This season is still young. Let's not cry over spilled milk, Cowboy Nation. We're 1-1. Easily could have been 2-0, and easily could have been 0-2. I recall a time there was a team that went 6-0. It looked like they were going right to the Super Bowl. That was the Detroit Lions. They didn't even sniff the playoffs. Last year during this time, Cowboys 3-0. High hopes for everything. Couldn't sniff the playoff last year. So let this thing build up. I'm going to tell you guys again, I would rather for us to get hot towards the latter part of the season opposed to now. Let us get hot. Let us get this defense together. Post me your thoughts. Post me your concerns, whether it be constructive criticisms on the players. You know how it goes, right? One way or another. Give me the good, the bad, the ugly, how you guys feel. But I just want to say this. It just takes time. It takes time, Cowboy Nation. And speaking of that, that's been my time. I really thank you all for yours. And remember, you're listening to nothing but the best. Let's go.